This is a particularly pertinent question for me because ichthyology, the subject of my book, is not exactly the hottest field in science today. I had one ichthyologist tell me that it's considered a bit passé. When the current generation dies, no experts will remain for many groups of fish, some of them quite large. At the same time, as we all know, the Earth is hemorrhaging life, and our freshwaters are especially hard hit. Currently, more than a third of North America's fishes are at risk, about 40% of Europe's. According to the United Nations, 80% of the major rivers in China are now too polluted to support fish at all. In the tropics, forget about it. We don't even know what's there, much less what we're losing. So it's vital that we pay attention now, that we try to make sense of our relationship with nature, our desire to hold on to wild things, to possess them, to alter them, to preserve them, because we'll never have another chance.
I think it's important for a number of reasons. Partially, it's a way of being skeptical about the world, but it's also a way of sort of creating wonder about the world, and it's a really cool method to really understand what's going on behind all these mysterious phenomena.
The part of this are people, and that is the most important thing that you can't lose track of. And so we were lucky that we were able to all spend some time and try and talk to enough people and meet people who were willing to share their stories with us and kind of walk through what this data really looks like for families and communities.
If you're just talking about rhetoric and you lose track of the data, I think you can end up not coming to useful conclusions. And if you are just paying attention to data, but you lose track of the people behind that, you also don't necessarily get to the right conclusions or to useful conclusions. And we wanted to sort of bring those things together, the data and the people, to really try to tell a story about gun violence in America that was a little different from how it was getting told everywhere else.
My audience is the world, and the world needs to know about science because everything that happens to us is related to science. These hurricanes that are hitting the United States right now, stem cell research, technology, everything is science related, and people need to be able to make informed decisions about their health and the climate and politics and the future of the world.
Science is really important for the 21st century. Citizens should know more about science to live in the 21st century where everything is touched by science, and science is everywhere. And we also have to remember that science doesn't belong to scientists. Science is part of our culture. Science is part of society.
People are more and more in a position where they are making their own judgments, and they become more self-conscious about what's going on in the world. And I think that's why they need science, and they need good science journalism and science communication to understand what's going on in the world. And as the world is getting more complicated, science is one way to find answers.